the cloud.
Right now. I am recording to the cloud.
Okay, perfect. That's what I do most of the time anyway.
Do we want to wait a couple?
We'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll start. And we could always at the beginning.
Now they're coming.
Here we go. Need to get signed on to Zoom, and if you don't sign on often, you a lot of times run into updates. Good morning.
Good morning, and welcome. So fun.
I know I had big talk about beverage of choice. It's coffee. I thought for a minute about a mimosa, but I'm like, eh.
This is I haven't been doing my French press because there was a lot of people in my house and I have coffee beans. So this is my first French press in quite a while.
Nice. Very nice.
It feels much more fancy. And it goes
That is fancy.
The headband.
I love it. I love it. I'm a step up from pajamas this morning. I'm not gonna lie. This is just a very comfortable tunic type thing from Soma. So
I love it. I do have my pajama bottoms on, so.
Yeah.
And I'm not really an accessorizer, but Jeremy got me this for my stocking because I love sparkle. So it's my favorite accessory now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right.
Okay. Do we want to go ahead and get started?
Let's get started.
Okay.
I like it's something people can catch up on because we'll chat for a little bit so we can get started because you know how I feel about timeliness.
I know you do. Miss T is very punctual. Sadly for her, I'm one of her besties.
Listen,
and also very organized and structured. And she's doing a workshop with me.
And it's going to be fun.
It is.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are not punctual, and so it has been a lesson for me in life, an opportunity for growth.
What does Mel Robbins say now? Do you know her new book? Say? Let them.
Oh, let them.
Let them.
But I'm waiting on them, then that's a problem.
Let them be late. Let them get to the place and me not be there anymore.
Oh.
Oh.
I'll think about that. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel free to turn on your cameras. If you want to, feel free to not turn on your cameras. If you don't want to, feel free to unmute and talk, or feel free to just listen. I personally would love interaction, but also I know that sometimes people don't want to interact.
Yeah, I agree. So this is informal and fun and hopefully something very helpful for you guys as you move into, you ladies, as you move into 2025. So I know this is something that both Shanna and I do, and we love. I think we're kind of geeky around this. We love picking our word of the year every year, and we talk about it. We got together last year and we did a podcast, right, about it on, I think that was last year, about our words of the year. And I went back to look at my past words and kind of think about it. I've been thinking about this for a couple of weeks, really thinking about what I want my word of the year to be. And I'm pretty sure that I'm honed in. I've been doing the work today, this morning, working through the actual workbook. So we're doing this work right along with you.
Yes, we are. T, should we introduce ourselves really quick?
Oh yeah, I guess
because you've invited people and I've invited people and people have invited people.
Yeah, let's do that. You go first.
Oh, Okay. I am Shanna Pizer. I am a Christian life and weight loss coach. And I love word of the year. I geek out on words. And I'm so happy you're here. And I'm so
Yes,
happy if you're watching me the replay.
yes, agreed. I'm Demetria McVeigh, and I am a coach for women in midlife. I help them figure out the answers to questions like, what's next? Is this all there is? Um, how did I get here, and where do I want to go next? And I love word of the year too. I stopped making resolutions probably 10, 15 years ago. The last one I made, and y'all, I was serious about this, was to learn how to fold a fitted sheet, like Martha Stewart, like. Still can't do it. I would just kind of roll them up and put them in the closet. But anyway, that was the last resolution I made because they were always, Shanna, is that funny for you? You're
That
like,
cracks
oh
me
my
up
goodness.
because my husband had folded sheets yesterday. He was doing laundry, bless him. And he
Mhm.
folded sheets and they were on the table. And I went and grabbed the stack of sheets to put them in the closet. And I was like, how did he, like, he folded them so good. And
Oh,
mine are like, especially the fitted sheet,
the fitted sheet. I don't
it's a
even
mess.
understand.
And
Yeah.
his were like perfectly, I'm like, what on earth?
Hmm. So, needless to say, that resolution went by the wayside. And that's one that you don't have to be in a hurry about, right? It's not like lose that 10 pounds or whatever. But still to this day, it haunts me. So, I don't make resolutions anymore. I try to live with intention and I make plans, I set goals, but not the resolutions. So, yeah,
That's awesome. There's probably some really good YouTube videos.
I know.
And
But
now I kind of want to do it.
please let me know. People have tried to
I
teach me.
I think I probably ditched the resolutions around the same time. I was just like, I keep doing this and they're always like pie in the sky. I'm going to be perfect. I'm going to do everything and whatever. And at some point I was just like, I keep just disappointing myself. So why do I do this to myself?
Yes,
And so same thing. Like I'm not a fan of resolutions.
right.
And
And I think when we set them, we tend to set resolutions from a punitive place. I need to stop doing this, or you have a list of to dos and tasks that you have to start doing. And what I found with planning and having a word of the year, it's more intentional and forward thinking from an expansive place.
yes. And like I love having my word of year and then looking for different ways in different areas of my life that it can be incorporated. And it's a whole
Yes.
like it's like a theme, right? You said that when we were talking last
Mhm.
night. It's kind of like setting the tone for your year. It's having a theme for your year. And I love that. I would love to know who had a word of the year for 2024. Anybody? You want to put your words for 2024 in the chat?
Oh, that'd be great.
Katie and my mom are there. Yay. Embrace. Ooh.
Oh,
That's a
that's a good one.
Sorry, it was
good
wrong on the
rise.
typing. Yeah, so I learned to embrace everything that came my way. So it didn't have to be positive or negative. I was just going to embrace it and I was going to own it and I was going to process it and then figure it out. So I embraced a lot.
I love it.
But like you said, Shanna, it's funny how like you pick that word and then it like comes up and it comes up and like you're like, oh, that's my affirmation that that was the right word, I guess.
Mhm.
I have a good story about that for my word for
Oh,
2025.
oh, let's
But
hear it.
that's for later.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so we have embrace, we have rise, bold,
Oh, look,
mindful.
there's somebody
I
said
love
enough,
that.
and I
Enough.
have
Okay,
enough.
I have enough.
Somebody said
I
that.
love it. Refine. Okay, mine was aggressive.
Please tell us about that, T.
Well, and it took me a long time. I'm like, I don't want to be aggressive because
We had
there are
a lot of
negative.
conversations about it.
We did. There are negative connotations around it, right? But I'm building this business. I wanted to be aggressive in going for that. And for the things that I want to aggressively be there and work for my clients. Um, and there were just times that I needed to speak up for myself, right? I am a refined, still refining people pleaser. And it's okay to sometimes say no. And so for me, it was not like aggressive, but it was just like a little bit straighter, a little bit bolder. It was aggressive. And I thought about bold and things like different things like that. But I'm like, I'm going to put aggressive down just because it made me stretch and it made me really think about it. And I spoke up sometimes when I probably maybe would not have it. I'm like, is this aggressive? And, you know, in my
In a
nice
good way.
Southern lady aggressive way. And then Shanna, when I told her my word of the year last year, she blew my mind with a cheer. And I'm like, I had no idea that was a cheer, but it was, I made her record it for me and I would listen to it from time to time. So, yes,
I could get out my pom-poms right this very second. I'm not
I
going
don't
to.
have, I'm on location, so I don't have
I'm not.
mine.
They're like way over there. I'd have to climb over stuff. It'd be terrible.
Yeah.
My word for 2024 was impact. And what I like to do with my word, I pick a Bible verse and kind of a statement that goes along with my word. And I write those out pretty much every day that I do my planning and journaling, which is 95% of the time. And my statement this year was the impact of taking impeccable care of myself is immeasurable. And so I wrote that down pretty much 95% of the days. And it really, like, some days, and I write out in my journaling every morning, I am fit, strong, and courageous. And some days when I write those things down, I'm like, yes, this is amazing. It's so true, da 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 da. And there are some days when I am not taking impeccable care of myself or doing things to be fit, strong, and courageous, that I write those things down and I'm like, this is such a lie. I am not these things. And it's just, for me, either way, it's just a good reminder. And it's not a lie. I am fit, strong, and courageous. And the impact of taking care of myself is immeasurable. So it's always true, but sometimes it just feels like a glaring spotlight of you're not being who you want to be. And I think that sometimes that's a good reset from a place of love, reminding myself of who I want to be.
Yes. And that is part of it, right? When you have that word, it does come up in different places and different times. And it's the reminder too, that this is the way you want to live. This is the intention you set for the year. This is what you want.
Yeah. And it's like a refocusing. And I imagine like an actual camera. And when you focus in on something and it's all clear and perfect and you take the picture and then you move the camera and you have to refocus. We constantly have to refocus our minds because our minds start going off in all of the negative or the things that we can't control. And we have to refocus. And I think that the word of the year is a great way to come back and refocus. It's like an anchor, a refocus anchor.
Yeah. I love that. I love that camera analogy. That's fantastic.
Feel free to use it.
I will.
Okay. Do we want to go? So we did a little workbook and I see some people are on it. You can print it out or just use it to do notes. Can I share a quick little, one of my favorite things that I ever learned about? Can I do this for just a minute?
Yes.
This is a little bonus that is worth so much more than you paid to be in this workshop. And this is I learned this from Edie Wadsworth, and look at how fancy she is. So this is, oh, we both have our word of the year. That's
Yep.
funny. So this
Yeah,
is my word
keep
of
it
the
top of
year
mind.
with my Bible verse and my statement. And so I learned this from Edie Wadsworth. There's a video on it on YouTube. And she took it from the bullet journaling thing, but kind of made it her own. And when I watched this video, my mind exploded. And again, I am a journaler, planner, nerd. So
Mhm.
I
Same.
love all the things. And I always list maker, like you have lists everywhere. You take notes. Like if you read a book or listen to a podcast or a teaching and you take notes, like you end up with papers everywhere and you have like different notebooks that you have different things in. I don't know what you could call this, but let me introduce you to this. This is just a composition notebook that I decorated in my own creative way. I am creative. I am not artistic. And so here's, oh my word, this was life-changing for me.
Game
And
changer. It was.
if you're a nerd like we are, then it might just change your life too. So you get this plain old like 50-cent composition notebook.
Mhm.
And then the first couple pages are a table of contents. And as you make lists, like for this, you could have your word of the year notes on page, as you start numbering. I go in and I number the pages. And
Mhm.
I had what was I dreaming about for 2024? And then I go back and I put page 1. Oh, this was from the best year yet. This was from a teaching, the best year yet last year. So pages 1 through 5 are the best year yet teaching. And anytime I want to take notes on something, or I have a list of books that I wanted to read this year, I had a list of books that I read this year. What else did I have? My January goals, like anything. Ideas that I had for like programs or things that I wanted to offer, classes I wanted to do. All my workshop notes are in here. And they all have a table of contents. So when I think, oh my word, I listened to that thing and I took some notes. Where is that? I know that it's right here and
In this
it's my
book.
table of contents.
Yeah. And you don't have a million pieces of paper laying around. You don't have to go find it. Same. And I think you told me about the video and I discovered it. And yes,
So
same
good.
things.
This is with me
Yeah.
all the time. That and my planner all the time.
Mhm.
So
I love that little bonus.
Yes. And
It
that's
was a
how I
game
take notes.
changer.
I don't typically print things out because then I just lose it or it's somewhere and then I throw it away. But I'll do it in that book.
Yes.
I love it.
Okay. So was that because they could print this out or not
Yeah.
print this out
Or
and
you
still
can,
okay.
yeah, you can just get a piece of paper or a notebook and do it off of the digital copy.
Right. Whatever's easiest. We don't want to make any of this hard. So let's spend
Yes,
a little
Nancy, that
time.
table of contents. Oh my word.
That was the game changer.
Yeah. And how
Yeah.
simple. And that's the thing. Everything. It's like, it's the simplest things that you're like, sometimes I'll say stuff and I'm like, it sounds so dumb because it's so little, but it's not. It's huge. A table of contents is mind blowing. Okay.
Okay, let's take a little time and reflect on 2024. And we have some questions here to kind of think about 2024 and what you want to let go of from 2024. And just kind of spend a few minutes here just writing what you want to let go of. And you can write why if you want to list why you want to let it go. And this is for you. You don't have to share, but you can share if you want to, as much as you want. One of the things I was
You
doing.
skipped the first page.
Oh, because I printed the pages I needed to write on. I'm sorry. Let's go back. Momentito.
And this is like, all of this is just to kind of like get your brain flowing and to spark ideas. If there's other directions for you to reflect back on 2024 that you want to go on, go ahead. I took this from one of my coach mentors, looking back on 2024 to kind of remind yourself of the positive things that you did. And there's these 4 areas: health, which is mental health, physical health, emotional health, your relationships with yourself, with God, with other people, your purpose, like, why are you here? What do you feel like it is your purpose to be doing? What is the impact that you want to be making? And then resources, which is time, money, energy, like whatever you have. Like, what did you do in each of those areas this year to move the, I don't know, move what?
To move the needle, to move
Move the
forward.
needle, yes. And it can be simple things like health. Did you go in and do your annual checkups? Did you go to the dentist? Did you, are you seeing a counselor? Did you hire a coach? It can be anything.
Yeah. Were you consistent on the things that the basic things that you need to do? And that you can journal this out. You can also, if you want, give yourself a score in these areas, and think about it that way on a like scale of 1 to 5. What would you score yourself in these areas? And when you're doing this look back, it's for information and kind of a data point. It's not to beat yourself up. It's not to go through the shoulda, woulda, couldas. It's just so you know.
And I say, like, look for the positive things. And something that is kind of helpful, you can either like pull up your calendar and kind of browse through your calendar for the year, or open up your phone and go back to January of 2024 and scroll through your pictures for the year, because we do so many things that we forget about. And so go on a treasure hunt looking for the things that you did for yourself this year and for other people. Resources are your time. How do you spend your time? How do you spend, invest, make money, use? Energy. What do you do with the energy that you have? How do you spend yourself? Is it in ways that you want to? Do you volunteer? Do you have a job that is amazing? Do you homeschool your kids? Does that suck all your energy?
Yeah.
So,
And
go ahead.
I'm sorry, thinking about that, like, how do you renew those resources?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. How do you take care of them?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit sad that I didn't start my new one for 2025. So I'm going to have to do this. And then once you've gone through that, you can go through into the thinking back on 2024, what do you want to let go of from? What do you want to just let it go? And that can be anything. Any examples for that?
Well, yes, you make me read my list. So I said I wanted to let go of the shoulda, woulda, couldas. That's that regret, wishing things were different, bad habits. I want to let those go, and I want to let go of doubt.
Yes.
Those are the things. Those are some of the things that I listed.
And if anybody wants to share anything they come up with, feel free.
Or if you have questions, and you can put them in the chat or just unmute and ask. Areas of purpose, like what I think about what lights you up in your soul. What do you want to do? Like if you could wake up every day and do what brought you joy, what you feel like you were meant to do on this earth, what would that be? Okay, how are we doing? Are you guys still on what do you want to let go of, or we moved on to what we want to take with us into 2025?
They're just working real hard.
I love it.
Shanna, are you in master class? Are you going to be doing master class?
I am. Are you?
Yes, and this is my big let go of thing because I work full time. I'm a teacher and I cannot
I'm so
make,
sorry.
I know. Well, this will be year 32. Well, this is year 32. I retired. I don't know if you know my story. I retired and when I retired, we sold our house in Virginia. We moved to our property we have here in Maryland. So I moved to a new state. We built a house. I know nobody in the state, it's just like new state, new life. I'm used to walking through a store and everybody knows who I am. And now I'm like, I'm a nobody. So I can like walk around with no makeup on. Who cares, But anyways, and then year one, we moved in. On year two, my daughter was attacked by my other daughter's dog. And so she had this much of her face removed, like, it was bitten off. And so she came and lived. We have a little house, an old farmhouse. So she and her boyfriend lived in that old farmhouse, was taking care of her, doing all that. And then just through all the stress, I was buffering with Amazon became my best friend. And so I got myself into a little debt, not a lot, but just not an uncomfortable amount. And then I thought, well, I just don't know what I can do. I don't think I can do anything but teach. I don't know, and I was going through like all this stuff. And then we were at volunteering for our church somewhere. And then there was the school board for my local school here. And so I went through the whole process, got coached by Edie about going back to work. And she's like, blah, blah, blah. It seemed like that was the right thing to do. So I applied at the school, got hired, was ready to start, went to sign my contract. And they said, well, we're only going to pay you as a first-year teacher. And at that point, I had been a 30-year teacher. I was retired. And they said, well, we didn't get all your college transcripts, weren't all in. And I'm like, honey, I graduated from college in 1984. Like, they're going to have to go find my transcripts on the microfiche. Like, it's not like,
That's what I was thinking.
right. It's not like it's on the computer. Like and I had gotten married, my first time I got married in college. So my name changed. So that was just like, whoa, like that was crazy for them. So anyways, they said, well, we're going to pay you as a first-year teacher, but once we get everything straightened out, we'll retro pay. And I thought, oh no, I don't really trust that system that much. So I said no. And it just felt really right to say no. So I said no. And I was like, okay, all right, I can figure this out. And then I was out to dinner and I get a phone call from my former boss from my elementary school in Virginia. And he's like, I really need you to come back. Can you come back? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, well, it's a critical shortage position. So you will get your full salary, plus you can still get your retirement. So I'm like, oh, bing, bing, bing. So being a teacher, I've never made money before in my life. So I was like, okay. So then when I had retired, we were on a 3-year freeze for our salaries. So I hadn't had a raise for 3 years. And then they got a new superintendent and he jacked up their prices. So I got like $25,000 more than I was making when I retired. So I'm making $100,000 as a teacher and my retirement. So I'm like, okay, well, that's really kind of a no-brainer right now, So I got myself out of debt. Everything's going good. Did the coaching, got certified, and I'm frozen. Like I just don't know what to do. And now I sign up for the master coaching thinking this is going to give me my push. And I can't make any of the live calls, and I'm really having some mind mess about that.
We
And
can
I know
definitely get on another call and chat about that if you want.
Yeah. But so my word is abundance.
Yes.
And so I want to live in that. I have abundance of time. I have an abundance of money. I have an abundance of resources. I see somebody put resources in here, but time was mostly what I'm feeling, that restriction. So when we talked about just now, what do you want to let go of? I want to let go that there's not enough, that there's a lack, that I have a scarcity mindset is what I want to let go of, So that's where abundance was the positive side of the scarcity being the negative side. So when you talked about like flipping it to a positive way of putting things. So that's what I'm letting go of, is just the scarcity mindset that I'm missing out, that it's not enough. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough. So
That's good.
Yes.
And that's like, that is how to use it as the refocus. Like when you
Right.
catch yourself, there's not enough, whatever, like, oh, that's right. There's enough everything. It's
Mhm.
abundance.
As
And
it should.
I have this, I was a high school counselor and I am not anymore. And I had this little sign, I don't know if it's backwards on the screen or not, but it says, I can do hard things. And that was like one of my very first like refocus things that I worked on. Because kids, adults, myself, it was always like, it's so hard. It's so hard. And I trained myself anytime I hear that sentence now, my response is automatically, and you can do hard things. And that was, it was
Mhm.
just like, and it was a gradual, like, I would, you know, get stuck in that. It's so hard. It's hard. And hearing kids and other teachers and whatever, it's so hard. And I, over time, like I literally, I hear somebody say it's so hard. And I'm like, you can do hard things. What's the
That's so
problem?
good. That's such a good reframe.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a great example.
And it can be, I mean, it's with anything. And that's just like, that's the refocus. And it takes work. It's not going to be automatic. It's not magic. It takes work to practice recognizing when you're in that not enough spiral, to notice it. And then you start noticing it a little bit sooner and a little bit sooner. And then like, oh, that's right. No, there's always enough. There's enough time. There's enough money. There's enough opportunity. There's enough everything.
Mhm.
Like awareness is just so powerful.
Yes, for real.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
one of the questions that I ask myself is, how is this working for me? You know, because there's some kind of way, there's something I need to learn. Maybe there's a lesson, but some kind of way this is working for me. This is meant for me. So how is it working for me?
And you can, I mean, with the not enough time, not enough money, like you can absolutely keep that story. You can keep telling yourself that. That is completely your prerogative. And this is what people don't believe or understand, that it's completely optional. You can change that story for yourself, because the more and more you tell yourself there's not enough time, there's not enough money, the more and more you believe that. And then the more and more your actions reflect that, so that
Mhm.
there's not enough time and there's not enough money. And you can completely change that story so that you start believing there is enough time, there is enough money, and then you go to work to figure it out. And it's not like
Okay,
Pollyanna sunshine. It's work.
it's work.
It's work.
Yes.
Okay. Are
Okay.
we ready to move on?
Move on to moving on,
Move on to moving on.
which is the next thing. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
what would you like, sorry,
no,
what
go.
would you like to accomplish in 2025? And this, and again, I put the quadrants for, and again, just to kind of spark ideas in health, in your relationships, in your purpose or impact, in your resources, just to kind of start getting your mind going on. And for me, confession time, I did not do the dentist or doctor's appointments this year. So in 2025, that's the first thing on my health list, is get those appointments scheduled. Demetria,
I thought
please
you
hold me
did
to
the
that.
appointments.
I know. I went to the eye doctor.
I spent a lot of time, y'all, lecturing on this one. I thought you did your, well, woman. Okay, well, I'm going to add something to my list for 2025.
Yes, please. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
So, and if you want, you could, if you want, go through each of those areas to kind of say what you want to accomplish this year, or just brainstorm whatever it is that you want.
And I looked at,
Go ahead.
I looked at what I put down for thinking back on 2024 on this circle, this quadrant, and thought about it's not going to be a 180, right? Like, so where are the areas where I can level up? What can I do better? Like just that small shift and the difference that it will make. So that's a start. And if you get to that point, like if you want to be 10% better and you get there, celebrate it and then set the next target. What were you going to say?
The complete opposite.
Okay, tell me. Let's talk about it.
But kind of like just an invitation to dream like impossible dreams.
Oh yeah.
And then because we don't dream, like when we were 8, we wanted to be princesses and ballerinas and lawyers and whatever it was we wanted to be. We had these crazy dreams, and then life happens and we're just in the day-to-day and we don't dream anymore. So what if you just let yourself dream? What is some crazy thing that I would love to do? And then maybe not in 2025, but what could you do in 2025 to start working towards it?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm all for that.
Yes, I know.
For
I know. We just went about it in different directions.
I know. That's awesome.
And I'll tell you, one of like my biggest dream that I've ever had in my whole entire life is to have a beach house. And it could be a beach condo, a house, I don't care. I want to own a dwelling place on the beach. And that is one of my life's dreams. So I'm working towards that. And let me tell you, it seems very impossible. And all things are possible. Absolutely, Nancy. You are invited to visit. We'll have a retreat or something.
Love it. That's one of my things for 2025, host an in-person workshop, a half-day workshop.
Bless up.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Q3.
I like it. Specific. Time.
I'm planning it.
Timed. Time. What is it? Time restricted.
Smart. Yeah.
One of mine for 2025 is to get a house cleaner again. When I quit my job, I had to let the house cleaner go.
Does anybody else want to share what they're moving towards in 2025? I almost said 2023. Let's not go backwards. 2025.
And I say be as ridiculous as you want. I'm all about it.
Did it unmute? Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, so Shanna said dream, so I'm dreaming.
love
So my big things, I want to go visit Italy and Greece with my daughter. She's graduating this year, and we were saying, oh, we can't afford it. We'll probably push it out, which it might still happen that way, but I'm just putting it on my list to do this year. And then I also want to see, this isn't a big dream, but I want to see a biomimetic dentist. I've been learning more about teeth health. And so I found one that's 2 hours away, not too far. So I'm going to make an appointment and get that into that. And then I'm also planning on going back to school to finish my teaching degree so I can actually move and teach anywhere. So those are kind of my big ones. I have small ones too, but.
That's
I
awesome.
love it. And I love it. So when you start thinking like I could go to Italy and Greece this year, you're it's, what is it? Confirmation bias. Your brain literally, when you tell yourself something, when you say there's not enough time, for instance, there's not enough money, your brain automatically goes searching for all the evidence to show you how that's true. And so if you
Yeah.
want to keep believing there's not enough money and there's not enough time, then keep telling yourself that, and your brain's going to keep going, yeah, you're right, because this is true and this is true, and here's this and all the ways that it's not true. And if you start imagining, dreaming, I could go to Italy and Greece this summer,
Mhm.
then your brain starts going, oh, let's see how that can be true, and starts looking for evidence and ways to make that happen.
Yes.
Also, Laura, I don't know where you live, but there's such a teacher shortage right now that you can probably go and like do long-term subbing. That will give you a good way to get some money if you need money to, and then get you credits. So instead of having to do student teaching, you can use that long-term subbing experience that you're getting paid for as your student teaching. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
new ways
Hmm.
because of the teacher shortage. They're being really creative on how to get teachers to come in. And, since you don't historically make a lot of money teaching, that's some of the ways that they're helping people. Like they'll let you do things differently, not as strict as they used to be.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, and she's in California, so you would want to
Oh.
go to the California Department of Education and look for like like pathways to teacher certification or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so research some of that because they're being very aggressive in how they're going to try to get teachers to come in. So they really need you and they want you, and so they're willing to make some accommodations that they didn't in the past.
Yeah.
Good to know. I love that. So yeah, so when I do one of my workshops well, both of my workshops anyway, I have you like look at that big picture, kind of paint the picture of what you want. And then I have you list all the things that have to happen in order for that to come true. And part of that exercise is to look at it from the things that have to happen and not automatically go to all of the reasons why it won't happen. Because then when you know the things that have to happen, you're right, your brain starts to work on, oh, this needs to happen. Okay, well, how can I make that happen? How do I get there? And it doesn't go to that automatic place of I can't do that. I can't, where we normally go. Awesome, Donna, that's great. And um, we can definitely talk about that offline. There are all kinds of options um, for that path for life coach. And it's fun. Okay. Are we ready to move on to brainstorming?
Ooh, yes. So now thinking about what you want to accomplish, and I also like to not so much focus on what you want to accomplish, but like who, in order to accomplish those things, who do I need to become? What kind of person do I need to be? And that's where, for me, the daily habits that I have on my habit tracker, which is like it's my life's baseline. Like, who do I have to be? What do I need to do consistently to be the person that accomplishes those things? And so that's just another way of framing it. And so as you're thinking about that, what are the first 20 words that come to mind?
Mhm. And I also think about how do I want to feel as
Yes.
I'm moving through this year and
Yes.
moving through my day-to-day life. How do I want to feel?
Yeah. And if you can only come up with 15, that's fine. And if you come up with 50, that's great too. You need help sparking ideas on page 10 of the workbook. There's a list of words. Welcome, iPhone Anne. We're brainstorming words for 2025. And if you kind of scroll through the workbook, if you have that, if you got that link, we did some reflecting on 2024 and looking forward to 2025, and now brainstorming words for 2025. Oh, oh. iPhone Ann has her grandbaby, baby
Oh.
Malcolm.
My babies.
Flourish for 2025.
Mm,
Love
I like
it.
it.
That was mine last year, 2023. Love it, love it.
Mhm.
So as you get your list of words, the next thing that I like to do is group them together. Like group similar words together to kind of see what kind of themes you have going with your words. And then I have on here to circle or underline 3 of the words that resonate with you the most. T and I love to use Word Hippo as a thesaurus. And if you go to wordhippo.com, you can put in a word and go on all kinds of adventures.
Yes.
It has all of the versions of the word and tenses, definitions. It's so great.
Yep.
And that's usually the tool that leads me to just the right word that I want.
Because as you go through and you put in the word, you can click on one of the words that it will suggest and then look at the definition and the other words that are related to that.
Yeah.
So you can really fine tune and hone in and learn new words.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Today I
T
was
and
like,
I learned a new word today.
like, okay.
Not one that we really cared for, but
No, we didn't, but it was interesting.
it's funny to me to learn words that I've never heard before. And that's happened a couple times this year. I don't remember what they were, but I was like, I've literally never heard that word before.
No.
Oh, Donna, were you a high school counselor for 30 years? I did it for 6 and was done. Although times have changed.
I love looking for adventure for the next 30 years. Yeah. So start there when you're thinking about it. Like, oh, I see a baby. Like, what would be an adventure? What would be the dream? That is a fantastic place to start when you're thinking about it. I love that.
Yes.
That's why I joined LMS, is because I had stopped dreaming. And I didn't know what the next chapter was. All I knew is that I was a mom and that I was a teacher. And I
Yep.
didn't know when I retired and I'm empty nester, what was next? I didn't know.
Who-
I never
who am
had
I?
thought about it. Yeah. So it was a really pivotal time in my life. It still is. It still is, because I'm still trying. I went back to teaching because I didn't know what else to do. So that goes to show you it wasn't.
Well, and they sweetened the deal. So
Yes, yes. But it worked out. And I feel very blessed. I feel a lot of joy every day. And the kids tell me every day, like, how much, like, I never thought I'd like science, but I love science. I want to be a scientist when I grow up. And so I feel like I'm making a difference. And that's just so
wow.
joyful.
Yeah, that's awesome. Has anybody discovered their word? Yes. iPhone Ann was just retired this past year from being an elementary administrator. She was principal. Anybody have their word? Or if you want to brainstorm, workshop, get help, like what
I got word hippo right here.
yes. What
Right here in
words
my hot little hands.
are you thinking about, but it's just not quite right? Because like I take this seriously. It has to be just the right word. What is it, Pam? Are you open to sharing? Ooh,
Tell us, Pam.
blessing. I love that.
I love that.
Possible. Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Expect.
Expect.
Yes.
Oh, I said
Love.
I saw expert. Okay, but expect. I love that.
Expect. Joy. Yes.
I love it.
I want to write these all down.
Mm-hmm. And I think we can save the chat some kind of way
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. It'll.
Okay, so mine is work. And thought about it, and I'm like, it kept coming up because I had things like build and strength and create and strong, different things like that. And I'm like, work. And I just thought about it. I'm like, there's some negative connotations to the word, but I think it is a good word. And I think about it in a way to get the things done that I want to get done. And so when I looked it up in Word Hippo, when it's things done to achieve an aim or a skill, the skill of an artisan or a craftsman. And so then I thought about it like people talk about their life's work or their body of work, how you want things to work out for you. So I really spent we want our money to work for us. So I am ready to work and to make things work and to have things work in all areas of my life. So that is mine for 2025.
Love it.
And I don't know what I'm going to do for my little graphic for my word of the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anybody having
A
trouble
little
honing in
T
on
with
their
a hard
word?
hat.
Ooh. Oh. With
a little hard hat.
sparkles and a tiara on it.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That would be so cute.
Or even like a brain with the hard hat, like on the brain kind of thing. So it's like your brain is working hard to achieve all those things.
There you go.
But I could see the whole body. Your heart is working hard to give you the things that you love. Your hands are working hard to produce the things that you love, that you want. So, that's a good word. I mean, you don't think of it as a good word, but it is. My friend Sally, her word is feet.
Feet.
F-E.
Because she wants to remember to be where her feet are, be
Oh.
present where her feet are. And then it was funny because I told her we have a Marco, and I told her my word, and then my friend Jenny told her her word, and then she found this Bible passage that has all three words in it, like all three of our words all in it. So yeah, so feet, but feet is like a work word, it's like, what, feet? But it was, she wants to not rush. She wants to be where her feet are planted. So yeah. It's funny how what comes to you, Work is a good one. Work is good.
I love that. There was on a coaching call, somebody was talking about their word was unbecoming. And I'm like, what? Unbecoming? And then she kind of started talking about it, and it was all the things that she had become that she wanted to unbecome. And I like, the more that she talked about it, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so fascinating. Words are amazing. I love words. My word is believe. And it was so funny because I was in church in a worship service. Can't remember what song we were singing or anything, but it just like came to me that that was my word. I had been kind of like contemplating. I hadn't really done a lot of work to figure it out, but it just came to me. And I was just like, I just knew automatically that was my word. And it was so funny because I sat down and I started to make a few notes about it. And then I remembered like 2 or 3 days before that, I was looking for an oil to put in my oil diffuser. And I went into my oil box and was kind of like looking around and smelling different oils. And I had this one bottle that had not been opened yet called Believe. And I opened it and sniffed it. And I was like, oh, that smells good. It's, you know, it's not super Christmassy, but it works. And so I put that in my diffuser and didn't really think about it again. And as I sat down, I was like, God was totally preparing me for my word of the year through my essential oil.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing how it starts to show up. Once you pick that word, how it starts to show up and where it shows up.
Yep.
Yep.
For sure.
Okay. Did we get most of them? Anybody else have a word that they want to share or question or help?
Help. Come on. Give us an opportunity to go into Word Hippo.
I have one that you guys could help me with. So I like the word emboldened, but I don't like that word for my word of the year, but I like the meaning. So I just keep looking for more meanings. If you word wizards can do that.
On it.
Embolden. Tell me more about it. Teresa, yes, I know. Is it Word Hippo fun?
Mhm.
What do you like about embolden?
So I like that it is like daring or audacious. And it's like hopeful. It's like it like holds like it's has a boldness to it. So it's courageous, but then it also is like hopeful for what's to come, like believes in that. Um and so there's like a fearlessness, a boldness and bravery, um optimistic and hopeful for something like good.
I like audacious.
I had audacious on here too. It sounds like pretty,
Yeah.
but
It
also a
sounds
little snazzy.
okay. So in Word Hippo, one of the embolden, the verb to strengthen or reaffirm in rank or position. And then some of the words enhance, secure, reassert, bolster, fortify, assure, intensify, accentuate. Virgin.
Virgin, like BU.
Virgin.
Mm-hmm.
Virgin.
But I do like audacious.
I like audacious.
I went after audacious because you guys said that, and it's showing a willingness to take surprisingly bold risks.
Ooh,
I like that.
which also implies that you have hope and belief that you're risking for a purpose. I think you are audacious.
It also has rebellious in nature.
I definitely think you're audacious.
All right, I'm
And
leaning toward that
courageous
one.
is under audacious. I see courageous on there, and bold and fearless and gutsy. I like audacious.
I think I like that one.
And it's a fun
and
word.
Mm-hmm. It'd be real fun on a sweatshirt with some sparkly letters. I see a lot of sparkles in our future.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you, ladies.
Courage,
You're
brave.
welcome.
Is that were those for Laura? Or are those your words? No, because Anne's is flourish. I have to look back and see what my Bible verse was for flourish. Anybody else? I have you can download the Word Hippo app on your phone, just so you know. Another little life-changing tip.
Yep. And it's really handy. Like if you need to find a word for something, it's just right there.
Yeah, if you're using the same word over and over again and you need a different word to use. And then I really like to think about how I'm going to incorporate this word into my life and in like all of those same areas. And I just kind of like to have fun with it too. Um I wrote out my word and then I started coming up with words that started with it to have like a little acronym. What's this called? Mnemonic. Mnemonic? Or an acronym, whatever. So I kind of played around with it like that. I've been looking at Bible verses, which I think it's 2 this year. I think it's all things are possible for those who believe. And then I believe, help my unbelief. And then I like coming up with like other words that are similar to it. I've done that I think I did that on the graphic that I have here. Like my word for 2024 was impact, effectiveness, influence, purpose, significance, relevance, effort, momentum, enthusiasm. And then I have my Bible verse on there.
Can I share something that's a little woo-woo?
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a little woo-woo, sorry. So about a month ago, when I was starting to brainstorm words, I thought my word was going to be abide or verily. Those were my 2 words that I kind of like felt like those were words. And so I was like thinking about it, and every night, like I pray, and then I don't pray about the word, but I pray that God shows me what he wants me to do for my year. So I was sleeping and I like woke up to, I swear it was an audible sound that said Ephesians. And like it woke me up. Like I sat up, like what was happening? And then I looked over at my clock and it said 3:20.
Nuh-uh.
That's how I got the word
Shut
abundance.
up.
Because Ephesians and then 3:20 is about abundance. So that's how I got my word.
Wow.
That's awesome.
But it's a little woo-woo because people are like, what? But yeah. I thought I
That's
felt
awesome.
safe to share it with you guys.
I love it. Is that he's able to do immeasurably more than we can think or imagine? And then we have on here our little graphics that I've done a Canva graphic every year that I've done a word of the year, and I'll like have it on my phone screen for a while or whatever. Post it here and there.
On your notebook.
On my notebook.
On your notebook.
And then Demetria, like, she went all out.
That was my 2023 word, vibrant. And I spent some time on it.
Yeah, you did. What's that called? There's a word.
Like a,
Like a
It's-
word
There's a word
web,
for that.
just
like-
like a word web.
Word web.
I don't know.
Aw, Nancy. You are so sweet.
thank you.
Nancy is in my Thursday morning encounter group. And so
Okay.
I get to see her every week, and she is such a blessing. You are such a blessing, Nancy. And inspiring and encouraging. Yes.
I love it.
Okay.
Do you
Nancy,
have
did
any
you come up with a word?
questions?
I didn't see you. Did you put a word in there? Or do you have a word that you're thinking of?
Did you ask me?
Yeah.
Oh, I have several I'm still working on, and I make a confession. I had intentional last year, and then I kind of dropped it because I felt like I wasn't following through on my intentions. So the enemy was using it in a negative way. So that's why I jumped in today, because I knew it would be very positive and encouraging time. And I wanted to do it again, only being faithful to follow through. So I'm kind of taking a little more time picking my word, but I love the word hippo, and I'm going to do that. And I have a number that I'm thinking of. So possible is probably one that's really tugging at my heart when something
Yeah.
at first.
And always, always, always use this as a tool and not a
Mhm.
weapon.
Yes, I know, but I did use it for a weapon. So
I know.
I'm
It's so
confessing, not going to do that again.
yes. Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
Aw, yay. Okay, if you haven't
Awesome.
found your word yet, you're gonna have to let us know when you do.
And you can just spend a little more time thinking about it. And now that it's churning, something will pop up for you.
Yeah, you'll start seeing confirmations everywhere.
Yeah.
And if
Or
you
you
want,
may-
if you create a graphic or anything and post it on your social media, tag us.
Yes, please share. Yeah. I'll have to work on my graphic. I'm not sure when, but
I haven't done that either. Yeah.
I'll find some time. But it really is, the graphic is just a nice to have, but it's really, if you just write it on a post-it note and keep it top of mind, that's the most important
Or put it on the front of your awesome,
thing. Mhm.
whatever
Yeah.
you call this thing, journal.
Journal, planner. I know, I love these, and I have a planner and I have journals, but I do love this. And
I do
these are
too.
small and easy to take with you. But
Yes.
I love my planner too.
Ooh, Teresa
And
Flourish also.
I normally have them
Love it.
together. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
This has been wonderful. I love
It's my
this.
favorite. I think it really is my favorite.
It really is. It's great.
I want everybody to love words as much as I do.
I mean, maybe we can do a quarterly check-in and see how our words are going, how we're living into our words for the year. So we can all come back together.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Any closing questions? Words of wisdom?
This was lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys for being here.
Yes. Thank you all for spending your Saturday morning with us with your coffee or whatever you have.
Whatever.
Yes.
Okay. I think we'll
Thank
call it.
you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Bye, ladies.
Bye.